Peace on the streets in the building.
Let's go. I'm ready, baby. I'm ready.
So, of course, we're going to miss Prince tonight, Enyo.
One more time, hands up for our boy Prince.
Yeah!
Working hard, making it happen out there. You know, he's busier than ever around this holiday season.
Yeah, truly, honestly, he's working. And so he has about like 4 jobs.
And I miss you guys because we had a pre-recorded show last week. Sorry to tell everybody. But we had, but I missed it. You know, I missed being in the studio, so it's good to be back. We got our boy Chris back
Woo!
there.
DJ
spinning.
Chris!
What's going down in the town? How you feeling?
Feeling alive.
I'm still
brother.
stuffed.
Yes, sir. What was the best part of Thanksgiving for you, brother?
I went to feed the homeless.
Oh,
I went
no way.
to go
Nice.
feed the homeless, and I DJ'd with a church, and while we were feeding the homeless. So that's what I did.
Beautiful. My man, don't stop doing good.
I know it. That's amazing.
That's awesome. We love to hear
I
it.
enjoyed it. I enjoy doing stuff like that. I get
Yeah.
joy out of that
I get it.
more than just sitting around doing nothing.
It's great people out here at Peace on the Streets. How about you, Mimi? How you enjoy your
Family.
Thanksgiving?
If
Heck
I'm
yeah.
not with my family, they will be highly upset.
You guys do the turkey and everything?
Yes.
Nice.
All the above. Like pasteles. And it was just amazing. And
Awesome.
I had 2 families, so I got to share with both.
There you go.
What about you, Enyo?
Beautiful. I just hung out with the family. Nothing too crazy. We don't really celebrate Thanksgiving like that.
Okay.
We did pork. We do pernil.
Yes.
We don't do turkey, but
Is
we had
that
a good
something?
time. We
That's
had a
awesome.
good time. Absolutely. And we're gonna continue having a good time because we
Yeah.
got some amazing guests coming on later tonight.
Do. Guys, we have we have a featured guest coming on in the next 25 minutes.
Yeah.
You know, we got Miss International World as well. Now, listen, you know that we give shout outs and we give the opportunity for independent artists to
Right.
be on our show.
Absolutely.
We give them an opportunity to air over, like, WOKB's been around for like 60 years. We
Right.
got 100,000 listeners. We're 3-time Stellar Award winners.
3 times.
3. So it's a blessing and an honor to be part of this journey. And we, if you're watching the cameras right now, peaceonthestreets.com, you can see us in the studio. Look at Chris Shaw.
Chris
literally
is going
3.
ham, baby.
3. It's a blessing. It's an honor.
He throwing out the not gang signs. Okay.
Right.
You guys say that
Those are
now.
3 stellar
Uno,
awards.
dos, tres.
That's meaning. That
Right.
means it's by the people, by you guys that really truly love us, that vote us in to get here. It's a beautiful thing and it's an honor. So we give
appreciate
this
y'all.
to independent works, charities, nonprofits, small businesses, and we're right now in the next 25 minutes we're going to share an independent artist that killed it here in Orlando, got the crowd going, apparently a crowd favor at a festival. So he's going to talk about that and what got him here on this journey, and we're proud of him and hopefully more greatness to come.
Heck yeah.
I can't wait for us to interview him.
Absolutely. And speaking of greatness, guys, December 10th, we're going to have the Stop the Violence Horseshoe Tournament by Peace on the Streets. It is going to be at Ivy Lane Hands-On Park. It's going to be December 10th from 1 p.m. till 5 p.m. And we're going to have a special live performance by Tony Boy. This dude is fire. And
He is.
I know you guys might not like immediately recognize the name, because I didn't, but you
Okay.
have seen him.
Right.
Because he has a character called Unk. You know, it's Uncle, and he has like the like a wig with like white hair and like the raggedy beard and stuff like that.
Yeah.
And I guarantee you've
Yeah,
seen one of them videos.
Yeah,
all right. So
yeah.
you guys definitely want to make sure you stop by, check it out. Oh, and I almost forgot the best part. Okay, well, I guess the best part is that we're stopping the violence. But the second best part
Word.
is going to be that you get free food whenever you come out to this park. So go ahead and check us out. We partnered with Hands On Orlando to make this event happen, to make it great, give back to the community. It's going to be free food Sunday, December 10th, Hands On Park at 479 South Ivy Lane, Orlando, Florida, from 1 p.m. to 5 p.m. Live performance from Tony Boy.
Go!
Don't miss it.
I can't wait to meet him. And so, and guys, listen, he volunteered his time. Now, I know that it's hard for people to do that right now, but we appreciate him, and he chose to be here
Yes.
and chose to volunteer his time to perform and to showcase himself. So this is we're so grateful.
Heck yeah.
I can't wait to meet him. Matter of fact, we got to get him on air. I know we got to interview him before he pops on.
Oh, you know, whenever we see him, we're definitely gonna do that. But we gotta
Yeah.
ask him too, cause and my boy's hot, bro. He on fire. He got.
I'm gonna get him on
80K.
the air just to give a little introduction so you guys understand how serious
Yeah,
he
he
is.
got 80K on IG. I'm just saying.
Come
you know what
on.
I mean, like, you don't get that for free.
Oh,
Yeah,
so
that-
guys,
that's that hard work.
it
right
is.
there.
Yes, sir.
So let me ask you guys this. Do you think hip hop has changed, period? Do you think there's meaning to hip hop anymore?
Sure. Sure, there's some songs that got some meaning. You know.
I don't know because I'm kind of a little different on hip hop. Hip hop for me was like your songs like Hip Hop Array, Hole, rock, bass. It was some music to make you move, jump, jive, and have a good time.
Yeah, for sure.
Jump around.
Right,
Jump, jump,
right,
jump
right.
and get down. Yeah.
Then
House of Pain.
then you had your other artists like Public Enemy, Big Daddy Kane, where they was rapping about social events or social things that was happening.
NWA.
Right,
Yeah,
things like that. So hip hop, I don't know what hip hop is now because I'm kind of confused a little
So everything
bit.
evolves, everything
It evolves.
changes. Yeah, I am confused a little as well.
Everyone is, right?
At some point, right?
Exactly.
Okay, but all I'm gonna say is hip hop in itself is supposed to be lyrical.
Yeah.
It's supposed to.
I thought so.
Well, that's hip hop.
Like Dougie Fresh and the Get Fresh crew.
Yeah,
That was hip hop.
Yeah, right.
In case you didn't know, it's called The Show. Welcome to the show. Peace on the Street
Come
Radio
on,
show.
yeah,
There you
baby.
go.
So speaking of hip hop and lyrics, we have an artist
Okay.
that's
okay.
out right now, right? And
Let's bring it
he
back.
basically he's a fan favorite because they all voted, cheered him on, and he actually made top. Is why he's here, and so we're gonna feature him. And the reason why I'm saying it is because the lyricist, it's not gone. It's just I don't think it's getting promoted heavily as it should. I think it is evolving, but I think they're. Damn, I hope they don't change hip hop, guys. I'm just saying.
Yeah, I don't think it's changed. It's just it's a lot going on in this hip hop world. That's just why I stand with it.
Well, let's hear from an artist's perspective, and what does he think about hip hop, rap, and just the current, I would say, atmosphere of the music in general.
Right. How they captivate the crowd. So, ladies and gentlemen, I hope we're saying his name right, Chris Shaw, because this is very uniquely spelled. It's R.H.Y.6. We're going to ask him why is it spelled like that. But if I'm not mistaken, ladies and gentlemen, here's artist Reese in the building.
Woo, let's go.
Reese.
What up, Reese?
What's up? How you doing?
We alive, brother. We alive. We're so happy to have you on. Thank you so much for joining us today.
And make sure you're speaking really close to your microphone so we can hear you.
Word.
And now, if I'm not mistaken, Chris Shaw called it out. You're from Atlanta, Georgia, aren't you?
Yes.
ATL, Shaw, they do the A-Town Stomp. Burbank in the building. College Park.
Nice.
Did I do it right or was it too much?
Shout out ATL, man. I'm born and raised, man. The whole time, forever.
Nice. So, look, bro, I was bringing it up to you, right? Like, what do you think about like the current hip hop scene and the current rap scene? Like, just give us a little bit of your thoughts on it right now.
I believe right now it's gotten to a point where it's just more so free and expression. A lot of people might have a message or may not, but it's all about just expression. So with me, I still keep that message. I still like to explain and allow people to understand what it is I go through and get the people to relate. That's really how you build that genuine fan base. But I believe as of now, it's just more about having a good time, man. We've been through so much. We just getting out of COVID. We back outside. Who wants to hear the same depressing stuff out, all the time? We all go through the same thing. So I feel like right now it's just everyone finding their own place, their own happiness, their own peace, and whatever they do.
True that.
So it's well said. So, hip hop is artwork, right, guys? So
Right.
that's how you express yourself, and each one is different. We don't want to hear the same kind. We like to hear who they are.
Yeah. And I guess it's a little bit, right? It's like you don't want to hear the same stuff over and over again either, right? So I guess like that's why music got to evolve, and that's why it's got to change, so it don't, stay stagnant. Speaking of which, I've been wanting to ask an artist, man, what do you think about the future of the music with the new AI tools that are coming out?
It's dangerous, man. It's dangerous. So they out here copying voices and this, that, and the other. But at the end of the day, you can't beat real living. You can't beat the art of the actual artist. You can put the different voice over it all the time, but what that artist brings to the table and what they speak is only from them. So it's one of a kind regardless. AI can't touch the real, man.
I hope you're right, bro.
Do they have protection on their voice, Enyo, if AI takes it?
Well, the thing is that AI can just make new songs now. So there's AI rappers already, and they have big followings. Like
No.
there's a big AI rapper that's got like a couple million followers, the songs definitely get several million plays every time he drops a new one. And it's just AI generated, you know what I mean? It's just like,
So he's not a real person, but he has fans.
Well, no,
no,
it's a real person.
no, it's not a real person. It's a company that just runs an AI.
AI is not real.
Well, I saw one not recently where it was a real person. You know, it's like these kids just kind of sit at home and they create a figure and then let the AI do it. All they doing is just putting it in and tuning it up.
There are
Sometimes,
yeah,
yeah.
there is stuff like that. That's why I'm saying it's so prominent. Like
Got it.
like a bunch of kids are just making AI clones and they're able to create songs. Like for example, any 16-year-old right now with access to a laptop can just go to their laptop and go to an AI system and tell it, make me 10 songs by Drake that say my name in it and relate to going to high school and being in the lacrosse team or something like that. And AI will generate 10 new songs with Drake's voice attached to it that you could just listen to whenever. And you could just do that for
So
anything.
we have to
and
really work.
everything.
I hope the artists are listening just in order to protect themselves. Like what happened with the writer's strike. You know how things change and evolve. They didn't have really a lot of rights to streaming. So it's like this as well,
Yeah.
you know? So keep an ear out on that. That's pretty clever. And, I'm glad you're talking to them right now because a lot of people tuning in, listening to the artists.
Yeah, and if you
speaking
guys
of,
want to check just real quick before we move on to the next point, if you guys want to check it out, look
Yeah.
up FN Mecca, and that's like the biggest AI rapper
Wow.
that's out there right now, and that's what it is.
oh, no.
That's it right there
Yeah.
for anybody that ain't seen it.
Guys, go to peaceonthestreets.com.
I believe that technology is so new, man. It's just gonna take time for people to be able to find a way to, what I'm saying, legalize and monetize
Protect their
it.
rights.
Yeah,
Licensing
that's true.
behind it, using that voice and that person's uniqueness, like it's gonna come back on them for sure. But right now it's new. Same thing with social media. TikTok is steadily evolving, so you got to find your way, man.
Word.
It truly is. Now, as a performer, an artist, how did you captivate the crowd? And that's the reason why you're here because you top notched it. You made it like your first place. So how did you get their attention? I heard that you was like the most energetic performer there.
Being different, bring originality to the table. A lot of these people be nervous. They get on stage, they freeze up. I already knew what I wanted to do before I got there, so I just executed. I did what I had to do. I have a good team. My cameraman Jay, my boy Jess. So everybody come out, they support, they help, and that's all you need. Just the right people riding with you, the right energy, and like I said, what you're doing is real. It's gonna always show.
Genuineness. I mean, that sells.
So
Period.
So basically, you got stage presence. That's
Big deal
what it
being an
sounds like
artist,
because I noticed that a lot of artists nowadays you got to have about 17 people on the stage with you just to have stage presence.
Right.
But can you really go out there, do your song, perform, and entertain the crowd and draw the crowd?
Well,
in?
not everyone's an entertainer. Some are just singers. Some are just artists. Some is entertainers. Period. Not saying not so well.
Right.
You know what I mean? But so not everyone is an entertainer. Like you got Jennifer Lopez, that's entertainer.
Right.
Britney Spears, entertainer. Like those guys like entertain and they could just dance and you're just like fascinated by them. You know what I mean? So
True.
it's things like that. When you have both, that's pretty hard.
You deep.
Yeah, you got
deep.
someone great. You got someone, even though they all got talent, they're great. They're already great.
so Reach
but
is
you
deep.
got someone that's like top notch, yeah, and then you can really work with because they got both.
So Reach is deep.
It's Riz, right? Riz or Rish?
It's Reese, right?
Reese.
Yeah. It's unique. Why is it spelled like that?
Yeah.
So Reese is my actual name. I did R.H.Y.6 because 6 is my birthday. 6 is a number that has stuck with me forever. Me and my mom are 6 days apart. Me and my sister 6 years apart. Me, my sister and my brother are all equally 3 years apart. It's 2 of us 6.
Wow.
It's just one of them things that always kind of stuck with me through my life. And then on top of that, remember how you struggle. Remain humble, you'll succeed. Like that's the message. That's what I do this for. My good songs, my hypes, and even down to my low songs where I'm talking about real life. It's all at the end of the day dealing with that. It's just remembering where you came from, staying solid, and standing on what it is you're trying to get across.
So that's a big
Yes,
deal.
ma'am.
What do you got next though on your agenda?
Right now, I'm working on new music. I did just put out an album, Pints, Pills, and Heartache. I hold that album very close to my heart because I was going through a very serious situation. I had surgery literally at the beginning of this this year. Still slowly recovering from that. I'm pretty much 100% at this point, but just trials and tribulations, and with that, that's going to continue to always create a story. So no matter when you think you're back against the wall and you ain't got nothing else to create, man, life is going to give you something to create.
Well, you create it so well. You really articulate how you put it together. That's an artist right there. That's an artist when they express themselves, period. But to have that, to be very articulate, Chris, and put it together, that's the hard part.
That's the hard part.
Absolutely.
Right, sure.
Absolutely. So we're going to hear his track. You guys ready? Now, real quick, before we air it, I want you to tell the audience what it's about and what got you to write this.
Got you. So this song right here is called Clarity, off of Pine Stills and Heartache. This song specifically just speaks on dealing with those hard times and never losing sight of yourself. Dealing with those hard times and always understanding what it is that you want out of life, having that clarity of where it is you want to go in life, and being able to execute it at the topmost. You know what I'm saying? So this track right here speaks volumes to me. I still listen to it on the daily, and I hope that I can reach someone else the same way that it reaches me at times, man. Never lose sight of yourself. Never forget where you come from. And no matter what, always be still-minded.
I love it, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Clarity. We'll be right back. Ow!
Let's go.
I'm needing clarity, wipe the smudges off of wine glasses.
Hey!
Let's go. Man, I had the very specific vision of like that song in like a movie. You know what I mean? Like a college movie kind of vibe.
Or like a Spider-Man or like a Marvel movie.
For me, it was like some kind of like just like a kids, like not kids, but like a college age movie, like some kind of like
Interesting.
like a what's it called? Like when people grow up, a coming of age story kind of thing.
Huh.
You know, like driving in the car.
So it was for movie,
That's like blasted.
cinema.
Yeah.
Come on.
For me, I'm a videographer, brother. So
There you
like,
go. Hear
I always
it.
be thinking about it, and I was
Yeah,
like,
it's growth.
I could just see that like playing with like some nice sunsets in the back and
Right.
everything, and like you driving around with the girl and stuff. In the
Oh my
car.
gosh, this is
It's
dope,
like,
guys. The vision.
It was lit.
So this is why
It
I
was
love
lit.
Peace on the Streets Radio, because it's so informative, and these guys are professionals, guys. So if you go on like on our website, you go on all of our video reels and all the promos, it's all these guys that did it. And you just heard what a professor just gave you some feedback as well, Reese. You know, that's a pretty big deal, and he works with students for years. So this is why I love the team. They come in and they tell you the truth, the facts, and give you information that can help you and help you grow. What do you think about your feedback so far?
I'm loving it, man. I'm loving it. It's real. I can tell it's real. And the thing is, I'm so confident in what I'm doing. I know it's only a matter of time. It just takes me to keep working and putting it in front of the right people. That's why I appreciate y'all. I love y'all. I'm happy for this feedback. I'm happy for this positivity. And this is just the thing that I be needing to keep going.
Ah, that's amazing.
Let's go.
Listen, if you ever need a team, videographer, someone to help you make the videos, call our boy right here at Peace on the Streets, because I've been in one music video already by him that he produced. I mean, they invited me as a guest, so I appreciate that. But I got to see them work behind the scenes of what we did. It was just impressive. And
That was
so,
a good video.
yeah, keep us in mind. The vision's insane. So
I believe it.
just keep us. We're locked in. Now you're part of Peace on the Streets family. Now, do you want to give any shout outs to anybody that's listening right now?
Most definitely. You know I got to. Let me go ahead and give a special warm and shout out to my mama. My Dukes, you know I love you. Give a shout out to my
Shout out
pops,
Mama
man.
Dukes.
Yeah, for sure. Give a shout out to my boy JDM Shacha, man. That's my cameraman. He been holding it down since day one.
Lit.
Shout out to my boy Jesse. He done held it down. Shout out to my homegirl Slim. She been around since day one. And I just appreciate the team. I appreciate Mimi. I appreciate Peace on the Street. Shout out y'all. Shout out God.
Amen.
Man.
Yo, that was beautiful. Thank you so much, our friend, for being here. As you can tell, we're hyped naturally. So
You ain't
thank
lying.
you for
Yeah.
sharing your message, your energy, and like
Your
Professor said, yeah, it was very clear.
Hey,
We
yeah.
appreciate that.
Clarity.
Come on.
Clarity. Hey, it's bound. It's finna go number one.
So
It's
Let's
going
go.
number
Let
one.
them know.
that's
Because-
an
Let 'em
amen.
know.
So listen, Chris, can we ride off with that until we pay the bills? Let's ride that song off
most
and we pay the
definitely.
bill. All right, Reese, thank you for being with us. Peace on the streets,
yo.
ladies and gentlemen. Reese!
Peace.
Hey, much love, man. Shout out. See. Y'all.
Let's go.
It's that time when we give you the updates of Miss International World, the one and only Mrs. Angela.
Good evening, good evening.
Good
So
evening.
Mr. Prince is working himself into a frenzy.
He really, he really is. He's working his fifth job, Chris, and he said let's keep going with the show no matter what. So I really appreciate him on the show must go on. So thank you so much, Prince, for working several jobs and also allowing us to still be here.
I know, he's always working. He's always doing something.
He is. And that's what makes that is such a, God bless our souls. It makes it such a beautiful thing when we can work for ourselves and still continue. But guys, remember, we all must take breaks. I've learned that health-wise.
That's my role model.
Yes.
Go to work.
Yeah, absolutely. No, he's great. Prince is great.
Yes. So, Miss Angela, what do we got going on right now with Miss International World? Now, there's big things in the making still. I actually see you guys still on the field, out there at events, Christmas festivals, and things of that nature. You guys look stunning. All of you look amazing. So please express to us what's going on right now. What have you guys been doing?
Well, last night we finished up doing Christmas on Las Olas, which is always a big annual event for us. And, that was great. And I was really shocked because somebody must have put a flyer out that I was going to be in town last night because I had people from all over coming and visiting me.
Oh, my gosh, Miss Angela, always.
I was hysterical. I had people from Miami, New York, you name it. I mean, people were looking for me. We do this every year with Zola Keller, who's got a boutique on Las Olas Boulevard. She has been there for about, I would say, at least a good 40, 45 years. Gowns are exquisite. I mean, she's had gowns in Miss America, Miss Universe, the Academy Awards. Unbelievable.
Whoa. Were your ladies wearing her gowns?
I'm sorry?
Were your ladies wearing her gowns there?
Oh yeah, that girl. I mean, they love it. I mean, you're modeling, these $7,000, $6,000 gowns.
Insane.
So everybody's going crazy. Okay.
We saw it. The look. They're very beautiful gowns.
Oh yeah, they're absolutely stunning. And I mean, it's a great event. It's a good holiday event. Last night they lighted the tree on Las Olas Boulevard and Fort Lauderdale, so it was great. The mayor was there. We got a chance to take a picture with the mayor.
Woo!
Oh, yeah. So it really was. It was an excellent event. And like I said, we've been doing it for the last, I must have been doing, with them, I'd say I've been doing it for the last 15 years.
That's insane. It is very outstanding. That's one of the top of the lines gowns I've seen. So it's absolutely gorgeous. And you also had, if I'm not mistaken, she's one of the 8-year-old title winners there as well?
Well, we had Gelia there. Okay, of course, Therese couldn't make it in, so we had Gelia. Right. Of course, we had Relina there. And then we had Mariant Lobo. And we had our new Miss International World, Estefania, and Little Lauren.
Right, Little Lauren. And these ladies were on our show. They aired. We interviewed them. So you got to hear their backstory and a little bit who they were. So it's amazing to see what they're doing. And I knew greatness is coming more from them because they are simply great. I just love what I see. I love how they carry themselves. And I just love the gowns. And it was so cute to see Little Lauren there as she was on our show too. Her dad allowed her to stay up past 9 p.m. and she's 8 years old, guys, and she won a title. He allowed her to stay up to air with us on Peace on the Streets. And remember, Miss International World airs after 10. So that was just, we were so grateful. The fact is that he just allowed her and understood the mission was for her to conduct herself, speak, go on radio for the first time. And she did so well. So it's like a training skill for Little Lauren. And this is what we do. We make sure that we strengthen all the winners, strengthen even the contestants, and make them a better version of themselves. It's insane, guys.
Well, that's the coolest dad right there. He became the coolest dad that night.
He did.
And forever.
Yes.
He did. He became the. It's unbelievable. I mean, between Michael and her other dad, I mean, she's really. She's something else, Little Lauren. She handles all this extremely well.
She knows what she wants. When she was with us, Chris, she was speaking to me like, I want my hair this way, that way, I want my nails done. When are they going to call me up? What time I need to be here? Where should I show up? I'm like, oh my gosh, there's an 8-year-old. You know that's her passion. She wanted it. That's what she wants to do. And you know that because they want to stay. They work hard at it, and they're happy to be there. And she won. It just makes sense.
Why not?
Oh, yeah, she knows exactly what she wants. I mean, last night when Carlos was taking the pictures, okay, and they were going up on the staircase there in Zola's store, she knew exactly how to pose. And she was, I was hysterical.
I can see that. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. I mean, she really, like I said, she knows exactly what she really wants. And I said, she really knows how to pose. No one tells her what to do.
No,
she
Chris,
just gets up there and does
that's
it.
her thing.
Starts commanding everybody else. It's funny.
Right. So wait till she becomes an adult, guys, or even a teenager. It's going to be on a totally different level. Like, this is really what she likes. If she wants to remain, she's really it's just her. It's in her. She woke up her dad and knew the time and schedule. It's like, it's time to go. It's time to get ready. I'm like, this is impressive. It's so, there's a backstory you hear. A Piece on the Streets.
Oh, yeah, she's really something else, But no, we all had a good time last night, and of course, like I said, Mayor Trantellis is a great guy. Wow. He came down to the store. He knew we were going to be there with his assistant Zach, and we took pictures and everything. So that was great. They lit the tree last night. So now we've got a couple of other things. Of course, the event that we do coming up in a couple of weeks, which we've been doing for the last 22 years, is the Winterfest Boat Parade.
Ooh.
Yeah, that's going to be coming up, and we may be going on a boat with Mobile Mike, who's also a DJ in the area.
Insane.
Okay, yeah, that's definitely insane. We've got the Grand Marshal Party coming up with special guests. Okay, is it in sync this year? No, Boys to Men.
They're still singing great, guys. They're in commercials now. They're killing it.
Yeah, we got Boys to Men coming, so that is going to be very exciting. The ladies are very excited for that.
Wow.
Yeah, they're very excited for that. So I think it's going to be a lot of exciting things coming up. And also, of course, I was just talking to Al Otero tonight, just before I got on the phone with you, and he's got a big show coming up, first one in March, which is going to be on International Women's Day. This is going to be huge because we're going to try to get Gloria Estefan and award her 100 Successful Women in Business Award.
Insane. Oh, insane. I'd love to be there. I would love to meet her. And
yeah, you definitely got to be there. You definitely have to be there. So, I mean, that's we're going to talk about it tomorrow. It's going to be a great event. I'm probably going to do a casting there. It's really going to be phenomenal. It's going to be
great. I love
it.
And do you have any dates for this as of yet?
Yeah, March 8th, International Women's Day. Yep.
That's it, guys. March 8th. Remember, any details, updates, or you want to be a part of anything with Miss International World, you could actually hit her up on Instagram. Miss International World is where you can reach her. Also, she's tagged all over our page. You definitely can find her. Is there any more updates coming up with the ladies that are the title winners?
I'm sorry, say it again?
Yes, no worries. Is there any other updates coming along right now with the ladies, the title winners that just won?
Well, I know a couple of. Well, we've got Art Basel coming up. I think a few of them are going to be modeling in that. Oh, a big shout out to Gelia. She just got engaged.
Oh, wow! That's amazing.
Yeah, she got engaged on Thanksgiving night. She didn't expect that, so we want to give a big shout out to her because I told her she definitely deserves that. So. And then, of course, Walina, you always can see her. She's always modeling somewhere, somehow, someplace. Walina is. But, no, the big events, like I said, coming up. And then we do have a great event coming up next week, December the 7th. which is going to be in Miami. It's going to be a lot of Latin stars. It's a fundraiser for children, but all like the main, broadcasters from Telemundo, America TV, Univision, they're all going to be there. So it's going to be a great night for our Latin girls.
That's insane, guys. Again, if you want to be a part and want to know details about it, you must reach out to us, Peace on the Streets Radio or Miss International World. She's been in her life for years, and the changes that she's making is insane. We're so excited to be a part of this. Updates are every week at 10:15 Miss International World, and you'll hear them, their testimonies, and what they have coming up for you guys. Remember, this is women empowerment. This is sisterhood. I love what I hear and what I see. And let me tell you, Chris, this is one of the best organizations I've ever been a part of. I've been doing this since 13 years old, and I've never seen how well the ladies work together, and no animosity, no hostility, no nothing. It's
But
truly
we may
about
have
making
a-
them strong.
We may have
Women
another.
power.
We may have another big announcement coming up because I was at the Margaritaville office today. Now they may be moving their offices to Tampa, but the new
Yes, sir. And it
Hey,
is
hey,
sports
hey,
talk,
hey.
baby. Let's go, let's go, let's go, let's go. And we will miss our boy George Michael. He's out on the grind. We got Prince on the grind, George on the grind. Everybody grinding, man. You know, this is a hardworking team right
Make the
here.
clips in here, man.
Exactly. So we got our boys, Steve in the house.
Hey yo.
And we got Brandon in the building. What's up, brother?
What's up?
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. So tonight we got a full show, full of sports talk. There's so many things going on in the sports world, and I'm gonna go ahead and let my boy Steve kick it off. Steve, what we got going on tonight, bro?
Man, we got some topics tonight. First, we're going to talk about the red hot Orlando Magic.
Play that song.
Killing it this
Yes,
season.
sir.
Then we're going to go over a little bit of Orlando City soccer, our thoughts on the season that was.
Wah,
But
wah, wah.
first, we got to get to some big news throughout the sports world. The news don't stop, and neither do we, all right?
Yes, sir.
So, in the NBA, we got a major story brewing with the Oklahoma City Thunder and guard Josh Giddey. Giddey is being accused of having an inappropriate relationship with a minor, and the NBA as well as NBA and police have opened an investigation into the matter. This all stems from a social media post that was taken down, and the account has been deactivated. So they're not even sure who it was or where it's been. So we're going to kind of keep this we're going to give a little bit of opinion on it, but there's still a lot to be learned from this aspect on here. But I like to think of it as it's a teaching lesson for all the young viewers out there and the young listeners out there that the internet never forgets, all right? You may think you take down the post, you may think you take down the pictures, you may think it's been erased, but the internet, just like Bob Seger and rock and roll, it never forgets, all right? So this seems to be a disturbing trend, though, with athletes. Just a few months ago, Wander Franco, of right around the corner of the Tampa Bay Braves, was investigated for the exact same thing. Point being, think before you act.
Exactly. If you're an athlete in any major platform, especially a younger athlete, you're trying, to develop in the industry and everything like that. Like, you cannot take anything for granted in any relationship, any personal relationship you have. You got to be careful. You got to be on guard. And it's one of those things where it shouldn't be like that. Like, in terms of, you should be able to live your life in a sense, but you gotta tread lightly. You gotta be careful. You gotta be cautious, because if you don't, regardless of the facts of the situation, stuff can burn you.
Absolutely. And let's give a little context as well, right? So,
Yes.
it sounds pretty bad when you say, like, he's accused of relationship with
Yep.
a minor and everything. At the time, according to, like, the pieces that we have gathered, he would have been 19 and she would have been 17. And that was kind of like the age disparity. This happened in California, however.
Yeah,
which-
California is very strict 18 only law. There is no leeway with that unless you are married. You can be married as the minor, but that's the only way around it in California. Otherwise, it is 18 and older. That is it.
Yeah. And it's tough, man. It's like one of those things where once you have a certain degree of success or, money or whatever it may be, there's always going to be something like, trying to take you down from
Yep.
that spot. And
Gotta be smart.
You got to be smart. You got to be careful.
Yeah, and going along with that as well is that the family at this point in time has stopped cooperating with the law. So we're not 100% sure what that exactly means. If there's going to be just maybe a civil suit, if there's even going to be any charges pressed. We're not 100% sure because as they were saying as well is that the account has been deactivated.
Yeah.
So it was some sort of almost burner, if you will, got posted. and they don't really have any information. So but it is ongoing at this moment, so they don't really know all the facts yet. So there's still more to come.
So, like, my questions are, like, were they in high school together at the same time when all this took place, and was he behind a couple of years or whatever?
No, and so how they're pinning this all together is, like I was saying, the social media, as well as he got 2 tickets in California about 15 minutes from where the girl went to high school. She was in high school at the time, if this is bad. So they're going back about 2 years. So at the present time, he's 21, she would have been 19 now.
Yeah.
So I don't know if that's why the parents are stopped, pursuing this possibly or something, because they're trying to put it in the past. But it's still definitely a lot more information to come out.
Yeah.
So it's definitely one of those TBD. But there's getting juicy.
It's real juicy because maybe about 2 years ago, whenever this did transpire, there was something there. Maybe the parents didn't like the situation or something like that, and this is for the reason coming out now.
Correct. Yeah, and exactly. And the other thing as well is it all stems back, like we were saying from the start, is that they don't know who it posted. So it could have just been an angry friend. It could have been anybody, and it could also be that the parents possibly knew about the relationship and were okay with it as well. So
we don't know, basically.
Yeah, there's a lot to learn.
Either way it go, as an athlete, and I tell every young man, be careful, know who you're dealing with, know who you're talking to. Always ask for age and name, and age, and make sure it's the correct government name, and make sure you get a chance to know.
Check that ID.
Right.
You worked way too hard to get to the league for something like this to just bring you down.
Exactly. That's something my coaches growing up always would talk to us about, where, when it comes to relationships and stuff like that, just like you said, you work too hard on it. You got to focus on your craft. You got to focus on what you're wanting to accomplish and everything. And then everything else in life will come. Just be patient with it. Don't try to get caught up in everything right now in the whirlwind that comes with success. Get your mind right. Get yourself matured. Get yourself focused up. Maybe get yourself an agent or somebody that can help you with this maturing process, or a mentor, and then go and pursue that stuff once you're in a good headspace.
And it's not just athletes, it's rappers, singers, and people in general.
Fame in general.
I just say overall in general.
Overall.
Yeah, and you know what? I was thinking about this earlier. Is that people that you never hear anything ever from is a guy like Derek Jeter.
Yep.
I'm a Red Sox fan, but I gotta respect the captain. He's dated a lot of high-profile people, but do you ever hear anything negative, anything ever coming out of any camp that he's ever been a part of?
No. Class act.
He keeps it classy, and also there's always been a lot of rumors that with Derek Jeter, that if you even go to a Derek Jeter party, you have to put your cell phone checked in almost as if it's like a comedy show or something like that.
That's it.
It's a smart way to live your life because no one ever knows. You always look like you're the best at what you do. So.
Yeah.
True. You gotta have some privacy, man. It's hard to come by privacy these days.
With the social media world we live in now, it's not everything has to be out there.
No, it does not.
But yet it is.
Yeah.
Right.
Unfortunately.
So in other NBA news, Mark Cuban is reportedly selling off 57% of the Dallas Mavericks for a reported $3.5 billion.
Wait.
With a B.
Say that one more time. How much?
$3.5 billion.
Sheesh.
What makes this contract very, very interesting, though, is that Mark Cuban is still going to be in charge of the Dallas Mavericks as far as president of operations, basketball operations, anything going on with the Dallas Mavericks. He is still going to be the head in charge. He's selling it to a reported, I guess it's the Sands Group out of Las Vegas.
Okay.
So there's rumors that there could be a new arena coming. There's a lot of different things in the work with this. It's not set in stone, but if Mark Cuban didn't pull the ultimate Shark Tank move, he reportedly bought the Dallas Mavericks in 2000 for $280 million. So that means he is turning a profit of around $3.2 billion again and still gets to keep his team.
Honestly, anywhere from like 10, 15 times what he made off the team when he first bought it way back in the day. Like that's remarkable.
With that amount of money, I think he can buy that mic to go ahead and drop it, because that was something that no owner's ever really been able to do, is sell part of your team and still keep your team.
Exactly.
That's pretty slick.
Yeah, that's pretty crazy. And it's funny, I had a theory that Mark Cuban is gearing up to run for president. And I'm not the only one that had that theory, because apparently he's been getting bombarded with the questions so much he had to put out like a public statement to NBC.
Oh,
so
man.
I was just looking it up. I was like, let me see if I find anything on this.
He hired last election season. He hired a firm to see how he would do without actually joining.
And he's also appearing in like Mr. Beast videos.
Yep.
He's putting himself way more out there. He's also quitting Shark Tank.
Yeah.
2025, I think it was.
So there's all these like moving parts happening, and the way that all the headlines are saying, he says that he's not running 2024.
Right.
So, I'm not discounting this idea entirely. Right?
Yeah.
I
He's
still
in
think
his early
it might
60s
be,
as well. So
I mean,
he still has another time that
Yeah.
he still could where he's not
Yeah, dude.
really old.
Bro, our president
Yeah.
right now is 157 years old, dog.
Yeah.
Marquis is good on that.
Well,
that
and
part.
politicians are always great at finding ways to not necessarily give you the honest truth of what they're doing. So he might say, "Yeah, I'm not running in 2024." Doesn't mean he can't run in 2028.
That's right.
And Mark Cuban is one of the most well-known, and in a lot of areas, he's a very well-respected owner as well in the NBA. So it's like, he's very well-known. He's got a great social media presence. So it would not surprise me if, maybe not this time around, but maybe at some point in the future,
wouldn't
we might
surprise
be
me
hearing
either.
his name pop up in
This
presidential
election is going to be
circles.
pretty crazy.
Oh, for sure.
I'm all about it as a gigantic Dallas Mavericks fan. So let's stick with us, Mark. All right, so from the hardwood to the gridiron, the Carolina Panthers have fired head coach Frank Reich after going 1-10. Do you
Yeah.
think this was the right move?
Might as well, yeah. I mean, unfortunately being a
1-10, bro. Come on.
exactly.
Enough said.
Don't get me wrong. Like that
gotta get
whole
outta
team,
here.
that whole team and organization has more problems than just Reich. But unfortunately, you're the head coach. You're the guy in charge. It falls on you. I'm not a fan of necessarily firing a coach mid-season because usually you don't want to have a new coach trying to come in and reshuffle things. Like you think that this is going to turn the season around. It won't. It's not going to. It's more of just a symbolic gesture. But there was a lot of problems with Reich when he got hired by the Panthers. I mean, number one, the Panthers, with their own quarterback that they drafted, number 1 overall, Bryce Young, he's been quoted as being more of a C.J. Stroud fan anyway. So it's like there's a lot of problems with the Panthers, and it goes beyond Frank Reich, but alas, here we are.
But the problem is, I think, it's not even a Frank Reich problem.
Yeah.
I think it's David Templeton,
Yep.
David Templeton, the owner of
Yep.
the team. He's been notoriously impatient with anything that he's done, and that's why the Carolina Panthers have not been a winning franchise for a long time.
Their worst mistake was firing Ron Rivera back in the day. He was their best head coach in a long time besides John Fox. So
Yeah, and he was visibly on the sideline swearing up a storm, and you knew that they was coming right off the bat. Yeah,
But what are you guys? I mean, come on. What are you gonna do? You just gonna let your team keep running with a 1-10?
Well, I think it sends the wrong message. I think it sends the wrong message to other head coaches that you literally get 11 games with a rookie quarterback in a team that had the number 1 or top 5 pick for a reason. That means you're not good.
11 games, bro.
That's it.
That's
mean,
a lot of games to
In one season, there's 17 to go. So
And,
Yeah.
I mean,
and it's not middle. It's really
listen.
the end of the season for
in
you.
football, like I'm sorry, in
in a
soccer,
sense,
in soccer, like if you lose 11 games in a row, you gotta go, brother. Like 10 games in a row, you gotta go.
Yeah.
And, like I don't know about like in American football, but we do have this thing called the new manager bump, right?
Yeah.
Where usually whenever a team gets a new manager, it'll like boost them up. Like players that were on the sidelines, they try a little harder to be able to make it into the first team. And I feel like that's probably what they're banking on, to at least be able to get a little bit of a push to not end up in a completely embarrassing season where you just get
you can
marked
look
all the way.
you can look at that in one aspect of it to
Yeah.
juice up the fans and the team, or you can look at it like, okay, we stink and we're gonna get a better draft pick out of this.
yeah. And you can say that you at least gave the guy a shot. And then
Right.
when the offseason
So-
comes, that's when if you do want to promote internally, you can do it. Or if you just want to bring in somebody completely new, you can do it that way too.
Right, and then if you look, who's the number 1 receiver for the Carolina Panthers? You got time? I got time for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
it's Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
What is he like?
Oh,
39.
man.
He's my age.
I
Still
completely
play.
forgot that he was
Exactly.
still there.
So I mean,
He was
is
on
it
the
really
IL.
Bryce Young and Frank Reich, or is it the simple fact that you got no one to throw it to?
Exactly.
You know, so
Well-
I don't.
It just takes some time to get to that post route, but
He'll
You'll
get there eventually.
You'll get there.
He'll get there by the
eventually,
time we
right.
come up with another receiver to name.
Yeah, 100%. The draft is all around, and he's still trying to catch that first one. You know,
right.
So,
Honestly, and if they get the number 1 overall pick, then they're gonna be rocking and rolling. This class will be deep with wide receivers. Martin Harrison Jr. Like they'll be fine.
well, the thing is, that's why with the Panthers as well is that they moved up to get that pick.
Mm-hmm.
They made that huge trade. They made that huge trade with
Chicago.
Chicago to do it.
Yeah, give me a moment. It's the top of the hour. We gotta take care of the bid and gotta take care of the
Okay.
business.
Sir.
So, top of the hour right here on Peace on the Street radio show.
in a completely embarrassing season where you just get
You can
marked all the way.
look at that in one aspect of it to
Yeah.
juice up the fans and the team, or you can look at it like, okay, we stink and we're gonna get a better draft pick out of this.
Yeah, and you can say that you at least gave the guy a shot. And then when
Right.
the offseason
So-
comes, that's when if you do want to promote internally, you can do it. Or if you just want to bring in somebody completely new, You can do it that way too.
Right, and then if you look, who's the number 1 receiver for the Carolina Panthers? You got time? I got time for you.
Oh, yeah.
Oh, that's right.
You know,
it's Adam Thielen.
Yeah.
What is he like? 39. He's my age.
I
Still
completely
play.
forgot that he was
Exactly.
still there.
So I mean,
thought he was
is
on
it
the
really
IL.
Bryce Young and Frank Reich, or is it the simple fact that you got no one to throw it to?
Exactly.
You know, so I don't.
It just takes some time to get to that post route, but you know.
He'll get there eventually.
You'll get there.
He'll get there by the time we
eventually,
come
right.
up with another receiver to name.
Yeah, 100%. The draft is all around, and he's still trying to catch that first one. You know,
Right.
So,
Honestly, and if they get the number 1 overall pick, then they're gonna be rocking and rolling. This class will be deep with wide receivers. Martin Harrison Jr. Like they'll be fine.
well, the thing is, that's why with the Panthers as well is that they moved up to get that pick. They made that huge trade. They made that huge trade with
Chicago.
to do it.
Yeah, give me a moment. It's the top of the hour. We gotta take care of the bid and gotta take care of the
Okay.
business. So, top of the hour right here on Peace on the Street Radio Show.
You're listening to Inspiration 1680 AM, WOKB Winter Garden, W2640F 100.
And talk really sets me off to a full long child. Yes, it does.
My bad. I picked the wrong song. We was talking about the coach being fired. My bad. Wrong song. My bad.
It seems oddly appropriate, actually.
Right.
Especially since we got some news, boys. It looks like a lot more coaches are going to be getting the can.
Yeah, that's like a professional tease. We'll be getting part of that one pretty soon, maybe next week or something.
That's a lot of heat going on, right?
I'm excited to see this.
Boy,
Hey,
that's
but
heat.
speaking of that heat, though, those Orlando Magic. How about them boys right now?
They turning it up, boys.
This just
Yep.
in, they won again tonight, so that means they've won 8 out of the last 9, and are currently sitting atop of the South
Gosh.
East Division at a record of 13-5.
Hang that banner. Play that song.
Yes,
I'm sorry.
sir.
I've seen this team suffer for so long post White, so it's just nice to finally have some momentum like this going. Like it is incredible. I love
Well,
it.
you know, Orlando has a knack for picking a number 1 and picking some of the greatest players.
Oh, yeah.
And then letting them go,
Yeah.
and they just blow up in other places.
Facts.
Hold on. We're not there yet. We're not there. Let's enjoy the honeymoon phase right now.
So
We
just
got
take-
a little bit of success, and then we'll work on a contract situation for
Right,
number
just-
5 in a sec.
So just take this in right now.
I do. I want to take it in. Like I said, the amount of time that we have spent being a laughingstock post Whitemare, it's
my
been
goodness.
crazy. But this year in general has just been incredible. Like being at the games and just seeing the atmosphere. Maybe you can attest to it too. Like
Brandon, I'm just grabbing on the mic real quick. Let me
Yeah.
tell you, the atmosphere there is insane. Sold out seats. Never seen it like it.
Nice,
exactly,
nice.
just everything. Even something as simple as like the PA announcer. He just seems to have a little bit more energy than it has before. And again, this exciting young core has just been. They've been tearing it up. You beat defending champions in the Denver Nuggets. You beat one of the top seeds in the Eastern Conference, the Boston. You blow out the Boston Celtics.
Freaking George Michael called it, dog.
Yes.
He said, hey, let's see if they can take a note from Orlando City and go on a good streak. They've been going on a pretty hot
Even
streak.
though the Magic didn't make it out of the group stage in the play-in tournament,
It's all
that's
right.
fine. What about
We want
this
the big
team
one.
though? What about this team is different from your teams in the past, honestly? Because they've had good starts, but what about this team, Brandon, especially? Because I know you're a big Magic fan. What about them got you so juiced this year?
Honestly, it's a few different things, whether it's the defense, which it's been great. You have some great individual efforts from guys like Jalen Suggs, who took it from a great level to an all-defense level, which I'm calling it right now. Jalen Suggs, end of the year, I don't know if it's first team or second team, he's going to get all defense.
Yeah,
he just is.
Jalen Suggs right now is averaging 1.9 steals a game, which puts him 3rd in the league.
Definition of lockdown. Like he puts the clamps on anybody's best perimeter player. And then even Cole Anthony, who's a lot of people have kind of given him crap for his defense, he stepped it up on the defensive end. And then just overall, like the young core, the chemistry that we have together, so many different guys are able to score in double digits. Paolo, Franz, Jalen, Kel. I know he's on the DL right now, and then Dell as well on the DL. But you have guys that are able to step up. You have Goga Batadze, Gogo Gadget, I call him. And then you've got Mo Wagner leading off the bench. I think he dropped career highs in points the other day. It's a team effort, and you can have one guy. Yeah, Paolo is the quote-unquote face of the franchise, But you literally have any single one of those other guys that can step up and they can ball out on any nightly basis. And it's just incredible to watch. They play for each other. They love it.
Yeah, piggybacking off your defensive call over here, the team is only allowing 107.4 points a game, which puts them actually fifth in the league.
Let's go.
Which is the Magic haven't been fifth in anything in a long time. So
Exactly. And what's even more incredible to see is the fact that their offense, it's middle of the pack right now. It's sitting right towards the middle. A lot of it has been points in the paint. They've been great doing pick and rolls. They probably should do a little bit more of that. But what's even crazier is the fact that they still haven't hit their stride shooting-wise. They're still towards the bottom of the league in three-point percentage. So imagine this team, lockdown defense, able to get buckets in the paint. They start figuring it out how to shoot on the perimeter. And Paolo's already figured it out. He's shooting over 40 from three right now. The only thing that he's got to clean up is just those free throws.
Yeah, Paolo's averaging right now 19.8 points a game as well.
You know what I really think it is? I'm gonna be honest. They're not into the money game just yet.
Yeah.
These guys are fresh. They're new. They're still young, and they grateful for being in the league, and they got love of the game of basketball.
Yeah, and what's great though too is that it's like a brotherhood. They have a love for each other as well. Like Cole just signed an extension. It was like $13 million a year, which, for his role, 6-man, it's kind of a good deal. But I don't know. I could also see a lot of these guys taking kind of those hometown deals, especially if they build a winning culture, which again, we've mentioned a lot of the players. Coach Mosley as well, when he came in, a lot of people didn't know he was an assistant from Dallas, but he has helped build and instill a culture of like, look, we're all going to get our shots. We're all going to get our buckets, but we need to play together. We need to play as a team, have depth, and if one guy's not scoring, we just got to give it to the guy that is and let them ride the hot hand like they did with Mo Wagner the other night. A lot of those dishes from Brother Franz. And just roll with it. And it works. And I think the last thing I would say with this team that I noticed from last year to this year, they're able to finish out games.
True.
When they'd get these leads in the first and second quarter, they'd be up by 15, 20 points. Third quarter comes, they just come out slow on defense. And they go on the other team would go on like a 20-0 run. This year, I've seen them close out games. They closed out Boston. They were at times trailing Boston, and they put the clamps on them though in the third and fourth quarter, shut them down, closed it out, and I think that's just really inspiring to see.
Yeah, winning is just like laughter. It's the best medicine. It cures anything for you, honestly.
It so does.
Yeah, and then what's wild too is the Magic seem like most of the team stats is put them about fifth in the league, which is pretty good. So this one right here is interesting as well. They have a plus minus of 5.2, meaning that they win at least win by at least 5 points on average or better, which is fifth best in the league. Like that's a very impressive stat. You always want to be on the plus, obviously never the negative, but that's an extremely impressive stat, and that's also correlating to a lot more wins than they've had in years.
Exactly, and if you can do that, anybody can win big against chump teams, and that I will say this, that is something that I've seen them sometimes this year. It has kind of creeped up on them a little bit where they will play down to below average teams, but again, they're young, they're still figuring it out. But the way they play against above-average teams is incredible. And again, to have, not just beating Boston, blowing them out the building, holding them to under 100 points, which my buddy David, he works security over at Amway Center. Shout out to you, David, man. You're best freaking security guard at Amway, man. Hey, I love that dude, man.
I got to get your shout out.
Oh, I got to, man. He's such a good dude. But yeah, he called it under 100, and I thought it'd be a lot closer than it was. But again, seeing them blow them out, and again, defending champions, you beat them like that. And again, you're not expected to do a lot this year. I was happy to see this team if they got 38 to 40 wins. But honestly, like this year, I made a prediction with Suggs being all defense. Another prediction, Paolo Banchero, he's going to be an all-star this year. I'm calling that one. Again, just got to clean up the free throw shooting. But other than that, he's a stud.
Yeah, in order for Paolo to get there, they have to continue to win. You can't just be great in the beginning and then fall off. You have to continue that or whatever. But
I think they will.
One of the things I think is interesting about the Magic, though, especially with Paolo, because it was a great pick. I was kind of nervous. I thought they were going to go with Chet originally, and I think that's kind of panning out. That I think Paolo fits their style a little bit more.
I was going Jabari. And I was dead wrong.
It was definitely a shock, and I think Paolo was the better pick. I think it's shown that he seems like he just gels better with the team. Some things that was kind of worrisome about it, though, is that he's the leading rebounder, assist, and points guy on the team. Yeah. Which I'm a Dallas Mavericks fan, so Luka does that for pretty much everything as well. Yeah. But I think with all the guards that the Magic have, he shouldn't be the number one distributor. I think he's averaging 4.9 assists a game.
Yeah.
I feel like there should be somebody else. Maybe whenever Mikal Fultz comes back,
Yep.
maybe he can take over those reins because he's not that far behind him.
Yeah.
But I think they need to figure that out. They have a lot of guards, and guards need to distribute the ball better, and you shouldn't have Paolo as your leading assist guy.
Yeah.
Rebounds, points, I can deal with, but I don't think he should be your leading assist guy.
Agreed. Him and Franz are both great secondary playmakers.
And which they're both forwards, too, which
Yeah.
still doesn't make any sense with a guard full of teams.
And what's crazy with them is they both have,
guards.
I think they both have pretty similar stats as well. Like they're both neck and neck in terms of points, rebounds, and assists. Maybe Paolo's got a little bit more because he's got a little bit more beef for rebounds. But yeah,
I
guard.
believe it was 6.9 rebounds a game, I believe.
Exactly. A lot of the team right now too. He might be the leader in those categories, but it's not by a wide margin. It's not like
Right.
it's not like 2K where you're scoring like 50 points, 20 rebounds, and 10 assists on a nightly basis. It's close, but they're getting production from each and every spot. And I know there's still some shuffling around. Guys obviously getting hurt. Anthony Black having to step up and play phenomenal. He's had some fantastic passes this year, and he's played lockdown defense as well. So once Kel gets back, they'll kind of figure out the rotation a little bit more. When Dell gets back as well. They'll get all that figured out. They'll get it ironed out. And you might see some discrepancies here and there in the stats. Again, even if Paolo is leading or maybe one guy is leading in a couple different categories, I don't think that's a bad thing. It's by how much you're leading, what the rest of your teammates are doing. If they're neck and neck with you, to me, that just shows that everybody's like a Swiss Army knife and everybody can do a bit of everything.
Right.
Nothing wrong with that.
So I guess the big question really is this a playoff team or a play-in team?
This is a playoff team. If they're playing, if they can, let me preface it. If they play the way they are right now, if they keep this up over the course of the season, they're going to win 50 games. That is if they keep this up. If they don't, more than likely playing. But I don't know. I feel confident in how Coach has them playing. I feel confident in how they're playing together.
Yeah.
And I don't know. I feel like sky's the limit for them.
It's just always hard to guess whenever you have so many young kids and in a team. But
This team's
Yeah,
different, though.
and
I feel it.
I think it could happen.
Yeah, and
Oh,
I
yeah.
think Orlando's also still just waiting on that big free agent to come. But it also doesn't necessarily have to mess up the chemistry as well. Like Orlando,
Yeah.
it seems like Orlando for years, it seems like they would get one guy and expect him to carry the entire team for
Yeah.
years. And they just always missed. It was Shaq, Tracy
Dwight.
McGrady, Grant Hill. But it just always seems like they constantly will get one guy and
Yeah.
expect the whole thing.
Yeah, which is not how it works.
No,
Nope.
especially in the NBA, you can't do that. You really do. So I like the way they're formulated at this point.
Yeah.
I can see them maybe trading like we had so many guards they have. Maybe trading a couple of draft picks or getting some fresh legs in there, something possible.
Yeah.
But I'm waiting on them to get one more just dude, and I think that they would be putting them over the top kind of thing.
Yeah.
I have a lot. They are pressing me a lot this year.
Honestly, I think that type of player would need to be somebody that can spread the floor, that can add to that that can help their shooting woes. Yeah, and whether it's somebody that can play lockdown D like a great 3-and-D player, or whether it's just somebody that you just need to just get a bucket on the outside, spread the floor out, open up the lanes for Paolo and Franz to drive and Suggs, I'm all for it.
Yeah.
What's the next home game for the Magic? It's Friday against Detroit, right?
Yep, I work in that one. Oh no, I will not be there for that one. But I'm just excited for whenever next one I get to go to. So
There you go.
yeah, man. But I will say though, shout out though their Osceola Magic team though. They're gonna be playing Thursday the 30th. So if anybody's in the area, you want to catch some good G League basketball, Mac McClung, Trevelyan Queen, a couple of names that if you're not watching G League basketball, you better get to watch them right now because they're a couple of human highlight reels. Osceola Magic in Kissimmee.
No.
McClung is down in the G League down there?
Yeah, he's been balling out. Like
Really?
he's been leading that team. Him and again, Trevelyan Queen. He's the name that not a lot of people probably know, but dude is if you watch him, like he's a human highlight reel.
Nice.
At least the G League version of it. So
Yeah,
I love it.
A lot of people were always. It was kind of funny whenever that McClung got signed by the Magic.
Yep.
Or whatever. They was kind of trying to figure out like what was this all about. Are they just trying to get a little hype? He's if you didn't know, he was the one that won the slam dunk contest or whatever. He was
First G League guy. Yeah.
super underrated. That he was gonna had
Yep.
no chance of winning it, and comes out there and puts on a heck of a show.
Yep.
That's awesome.
He's
Is
got
he
that-
still putting up a lot of highlights, or is
Oh yeah, no, he's still putting up the dunks, but he's also showing off different parts of the game too. He's been able to spread the floor, which again, talking about needing some shooters off the bench or something like that. That's something maybe you might see in Orlando. I don't know. I hope so. But yeah, for opening night, dude rolled up like in his Porsche. We were talking like Probably got that from the slam dunk contest money right there.
Actually, that was probably the Kia Stinger, really. But
That's
I mean,
so
it was
funny.
Yeah,
of course.
it was nice. It was
McClung
gorgeous.
ain't got that kind of money. now.
Hey, dude, whatever it was, man, he had the swagger coming in, and it was like, all right, he's bringing something to this team.
man
So
was
I
ready.
dig it. He was, man. He was. We blew the crap
That's
out of them.
awesome.
So
Well, that's all we got to talk for the Magic. I think when we come back, we're going to end up talking about a little bit of Orlando City soccer over here. We're going to reflect on the week on the year that it was.
Yeah, it was it's a tough way to end it up, but we'll get back into that whenever we come back. Let's play some tunes.
Peace on the streets.
play that
Roll it.
song.
And we're back to Peace on the Street radio show right here. It's Sports Talk right here, and
Make
we getting
my
it
day.
in. Make my day.
Yes, sir.
Yeah, I had to throw that one in because I just wanted to pump it up just a little bit.
Pump up the champ.
Baby. I was feeling that. I was feeling that dance music. You know what I mean?
Right.
I was ready. Ooh,
I miss Jock Jams,
Oh,
man. Let's go.
Come
on,
Go back to the
yeah.
90s, man. Let's go.
Oh man, I just have flashbacks.
I grew up on
to
that.
after-
Space Jam.
What was the next track? Y'all ready for
Oh.
this? Is
Oh,
that
my
track
God.
number 3?
I got the Macarena
Gosh.
coming.
Oh, no. All right, I'm going to walk out after that.
Oh, Lord.
No.
Y'all did not want to see me do that.
Orlando
Oh,
City.
now I do.
Orlando City lost its last game against the Columbus. Wow.
Columbus Crew, baby.
A lot easier said done when it's live,
I
right?
know, right?
Orlando City lost his
was
last
a good
game against the
trumpet.
Columbus Crew by the score of 2-0 and are out of the MLS playoffs. The Lions had an amazing end to the
Fix.
season and won its first playoff series in the new playoff format. First off, you're a soccer guy over here, without a doubt.
What to do?
Do you like this MLS playoff format?
I don't like playoffs at all, to be honest. Like in general, I don't like them. I don't think they make a lot of sense. I don't think the league system makes a lot of sense. I feel like the way the leagues are set up on other places is better, where you have relegation. And for those of you that don't know, the way it works is the bottom 3 teams in the league move down to a lower division, and the top 3 teams or 2 teams, depends where you are, will move up to the pro league.
The only thing I found anything about it was welcome to Wrexham. So shout out Wrexham.
Exactly.
Let's go Wrexham.
Exactly,
Right.
exactly. It's just like that, bro. And I feel like that just makes more sense because it incentivizes clubs to try harder and do better. Like
agree.
in American football and basketball or whatever, it's
So the
like,
Browns would be out of the league like,
exactly,
permanently.
exactly. They'd
Oh,
be out of
they'd
here.
have been out of here in year 3.
They gotta go, and then they gotta fight their way to come back on. Like that's how it should work. And then because there's other teams that would do better in their position. So I feel like that whole thing is crazy. Maybe like a tournament setup is a little better. But all in all, with all that being said, I don't hate it. I don't hate the way that it plays out. Like I feel like it's interesting, it's different, and it's got some. It's got a little spice to it.
I've always been a fan of
spice to it.
series. I do like when series happens. Although the Super Bowl is, the one game, anything can happen in that game. I do sometimes wish there was like a 2 out of 3 format. It just would lose the luster of the Super Bowl.
Yeah.
But I do like having a series. I feel like it's the only true way of showing that you are better.
Yeah, I think it just depends on the sport, too.
I mean, I feel like it's just how you set it up, right? Like,
Yeah.
for example, Champions League, it's like the best teams from a whole bunch of different countries. They show up, and then you have your group stage, which is like, you battle it out, and then you get points, right? So let's say you have 5 teams in that group. They battle it out, and then the top 2 move on to the next round. The bottom 2 stay behind, and then you just match up the winning teams from each group.
Yeah.
And then you keep going like that until you reach the final, right?
Sounds like an algebra problem, bro. I don't like algebra.
I mean,
the
you
NBA
followed it. I think that's just.
I was
a
gonna
you
say no
problem.
wonder the NBA tried to borrow from it.
Yeah, it's not that complicated, but I feel like it just makes more sense, and it's a more. Like, I feel like that really nails down which team is better, right? Because like you have your group, you got to beat everybody in that group to move on, and then you got to beat that next level, and then that next level until you finally reach the final, the final boss, right?
Yeah.
And then you go up against them, and then whoever wins there, that's your champion. So I like that. I like the way that goes. What I found sad, man, about the game was just that, like, City just. lost their mind, and they lost the one thing that's made them great all season long, which was that solid defense that they've been having all season long.
It wins championships.
It wins championships, exactly. And you could tell, I feel like it's one of those things where heritage comes in, right? Like how many times you've been there, have you been there and done that?
Yeah.
Have you been to the big games, been to the big stages and performed there? And City hasn't.
Yeah.
And you could tell because they got a red card in the 77th minute, and as soon as that happened, game over, bro. It was a done deal from there. The 2 goals came after that red card.
Yep.
And it is what it is. But overall, I feel like they need to walk out with their heads held high. You know, it's the deepest we've ever been in the playoff. That's like the cup you want to win, right? Like, that's your bread and butter.
Which is what I was about to say as well, is that is this Orlando City's best season overall? Even back, you can go back to whenever they were still in the amateur league. Is this the best season they've ever had?
I would say so. I feel like we made it deeper. The games were fun. We had good goals. Like, we kept a tight defense. Nils across the board for many, many games. And that's the kind of thing that, you know, wins championship, gets you a little deeper. We have good players that need a little bit of development. And we moved away from that idea of, like, let's just get a superstar to come in here and try to make magic happen.
Yeah.
Right? Like, we did the same thing that Orlando Magic has tried to do,
I was about
right?
to say, ironically, make magic happen. And
they were just
ironically, it definitely doesn't.
You got to play the long game.
Exactly. They were making the same playbook trying to happen, right? Like, they try to bring in Kaká, they try to bring in, like, you know, a whole bunch of, like, different players that were just older and not really going to be cutting it out here, right? It's not the same thing as Inter Miami did, where they bought the best player of all time to come in. And we even saw them suffer. Orlando City lost against Miami in the Cup, you know, recently, the mid-season tournament. And that was against Miami. It was like, when you bring in a big player like that, it does make a difference. But I think, you know, honestly, very excited for next season.
Yeah.
You know, the games... I think next season is going to be a good season. There's no reason to think this was a one-season wonder. Our coach has been good. Our players have been decent, holding it together. And now next season, you've been there. You've done that. And hopefully we don't get a red card that's going to, you know, knock us out on our butts halfway through. Because that was brutal.
Yeah, I was going to say, honestly, that's a very, almost like a very inexperienced or like kind of like a young person kind of like mistake right there. Like a rookie mistake. You can't, man, you can't do that. But, you know, give them an off season, give them some drilling. I'm sure that coach will definitely work out any issues like that.
Well, speaking of the coach, correct me if I'm wrong, is Oscar Pereira is under contract.
God, you know, I'm not even sure.
He's not under contract,
That's
which
wild.
which has been slightly a controversy. Is that how did you not sign this guy to a contract already, and he's possibly going to walk? But I'm hoping that Orlando can figure that out because it seems like that's the coach that's been able to get them over the hump finally. But
sounds like he might be doing extension.
Yeah, exactly. And so at this point in time, I would have thought it would have already been maybe announced. But maybe, you know, they're working out details or something like that. But as of right now, he's not.
It would be a huge mistake for Orlando City to drop him because he's done a lot with the club, and the performances, man. I'm telling you, it was rough being an Orlando freaking City fan, dog. Like, we were just getting mauled. The performances were awful, where the players just weren't giving it, right? You know what I mean? Like, for any team to work well, the players got to buy into the coach's system. As soon as you lose the players and the players don't believe in that coaching system.
Yep. Well, and in soccer, football, soccer, you know, whatever you call it.
I like that you're trying. I appreciate
that. But yeah, no. Regardless, like in soccer, it seems like coaching though too really does make a huge difference. A lot of times people kind of debate the importance of a coach in baseball and football and basketball and hockey. But one thing that I've seen in soccer, just in the limited experience I've had compared to a lot of other people, is that coaching can really be the difference between a championship contender and just being mediocre for a long period of time.
I've said that for years. I love Peyton Manning.
Yep.
I love LeBron James. But I'm a Michael Jordan fan.
Yep.
And they are great leaders on the field, on the court. But the coach will decide if you will listen to the coach. Hey, I see this. I know you on the court playing. I know you on the field playing. But this is what I'm seeing from this side. If we go out and make the difference, you can make something pop with this.
Absolutely.
Yeah, Jordan never won without Jackson.
Yeah.
Right.
True.
And in a sport though too, where goals are very hard to come by, you know, goals point. However, scoring is hard to come by. It's the coaching, I think, makes that much more of an impact. Where you gotta have the right system set up, and you gotta have not just a singular game plan, but backups, different plays, different sets, and it's going to take a lot. So you got to have an incredible mind steering the ship.
That's true. And with coaching in soccer, what makes it like I feel so challenging is you have such a small number of substitutions. Like you have 3. Now they bumped it up to certain competitions where you can get up to 5, right?
Yeah.
And that's it. But you only get 5 whole game. If somebody gets injured, that's tough luck, right? Like you're just out a player. And the tactics that go into like the small details on the field are crazy. Like a very famous coach in soccer called Jose Mourinho, he was able to bring a nobody team and win the highest level of soccer that there is, which is the Champions League. And his whole strategy surrounded a solid defense and then breaking out into the counter. But in between those things, he would go up and like, for example, right? Like he coached Real Madrid for a season, and they had in the Champions League, if you get 4 yellow cards, then you get a red card on your next one, right?
Yeah.
But this clears whenever you're passed into the 4th round. So what did he do? 2 of his players had, I believe, 3 yellow cards. So he went, brought them to the side, was like, go get sent off. Go get sent off right now. Your red cards are going to be wiped up for the next round and make it happen. And surely enough, both of them were like, all right, bet,
Smart.
bro, you say it, we're going to do that. They were up like a whole bunch of goals. That game didn't matter. They both got sent off, wiped on the next one, and surely enough, he ended up winning that Champions League, right?
Yeah.
And it's like, I feel like coaches are a lot more respected in soccer. Like, you hear their names as much as you hear the star players. Like, Pep Guardiola is like a legend in the game. You got Jose Mourinho. You got all these like big characters out there. And what about the style, right? I feel like that's an underrated part because like if you always see like soccer coaches, they always like dress up nice in suits.
Oh, yeah.
Very slim and fit, you know, like nice hair. Whenever you see like coaches for anything else, it's
You're right. You're right. But see,
Sweatpants and sweatshirt.
it's a big difference. It's a big
best.
difference. You know, they out there. That's a lot of running in soccer.
There is a lot.
That's a lot of back and forth. That's
Yep.
122 yards.
Yes, it is.
Do it in a 3-piece suit, like hats off to you.
Man,
Right.
well, they ain't running, you know what I mean? But they
Yeah.
look good while they're out there on the
Yeah.
sidelines, man. Like, I feel like coaches need to take themselves more seriously, bro.
What do you think in Orlando? What the fans get more excited about winning the mid-season tournament in the in-game tournament in the NBA, or winning the U.S. Open Cup and for MLS?
U.S. Open.
The Open Cup?
Yeah, the Open Cup.
Yeah?
No disrespect to my boys in Orlando, the Magic. No, but you got to look at the culture and you got to look at the dynamics of our target demographics that we have here in the area now.
True.
A lot more people are more familiar with football and soccer than they are with basketball. I'm not saying they won't go and support basketball, but our culture now, because everybody's coming from all over the world to Florida.
If we had City like actually go deep in the tournaments, I feel like it would be amazing.
Yeah, and
like the show would be, like the showing out for them would be out of control. Because even now, it's been pretty good with where we are right now. So I'd love to see it.
Well, and honestly, too, like with the in-season tournament for basketball, it's a very novel concept. It's something that they borrowed from soccer. Whereas with soccer, that stuff has been a part of the game for a very long time.
Yeah.
So don't get me wrong, the in-season tournament was great. Like the court look for the Magic. Best in-season, I will argue this, best in-season court look, like the gray and the navy blue. Like, you saw some abominations with those in-season courts. Like, the Chicago Bulls, bright red on dark red. I felt so bad for the people who had to, like, work shading for that game, like, trying to work with the cameras and stuff. The colors for it is like, oh, my gosh, it's terrible.
I hadn't thought about that.
That was the first thing that went through my mind. Oh, my. Who's supposed to record this?
Right? I will say this. The best 3 in-season courts I've seen are the Magic. Boston had a good one because they had, like, it was like a cream, I think, and then, like, the dark green.
Yeah.
And then Cleveland had, like, that gold and cream in there, too. Like, that would be dope. That was good. But the Magic's a top dog, though.
Just trying to chroma key the green in Boston.
Oh, my God. Well, it's a muter green, so you don't have to wear it. It doesn't stand out as much. Whereas like New Orleans, they got, like, the neon green. They've got the neon purple. That was another one. Like, goodness gracious.
That messed up my eyes all in the season. So I was just like, all right, whatever.
It was almost like whenever the NFL started trying to do the one color rush,
Oh,
the NFL ran
yeah.
into problems because people that were colorblind couldn't decipher what was going on because of the colors they were using.
It's tough.
So I'm surprised there hasn't been more complaints about the courts for the same situation. Like you're saying, like your eyes, it's hard to see sometimes.
And you got the uniform to match the court. Like,
right?
How do you know what player is what?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Hey, Ain't got no problems with the Magic though.
They made it
We
happen,
got the
though.
best
You know
one.
what I
They did
mean?
something right.
They
We
made
got
it
the
happen,
best
so
one.
It wasn't that complicated.
Exactly. You got to keep it simple,
They
stupid.
got to do some, but I like the mid-season tournament, like I
Yeah.
said when we were talking about it, because I think it just adds a little something different. You know,
Yeah.
like whenever you introduce new problems, it's always something, right? Like maybe a player gets injured,
Mm-hmm.
or like it's just your rotation's got to change. Someone really showed up during the tournament that you maybe gave them a chance because you didn't want to have them like during the whatever, right? So
Yeah.
it's always a little something interesting. Real quick before we move on, I wanted to get you guys with a year advance bets, right? Over or under Orlando City's placement this year for next year. Do they land over or under?
I feel like they're going to. Is there a stay option? I think they'll still be in like that second seed area. I think they'll. I don't know. I don't remember exactly how many they won, but I think they're going to be around about maybe a little bit improved. But I still consider them getting like the second seed.
Okay, we go.
I think it all depends on if their coach is back or not. That's my
True.
thing. If
True.
if they
I'll leave you with a caveat.
Okay.
You can put a caveat on it.
all right.
Well, it's like your job evaluation.
Yeah.
Exceed meet
Right.
and didn't follow.
Above average.
I'll say
I'm at meet.
Go ahead.
I was gonna say if he's gone, I think they'll go below expectation. They'll go below. But if he stays, just because continuity's sake, I feel like again with the Matt, maybe just me being overly optimistic. I like having a little hope in my day. What can I say?
Right.
Look at this guy being all positive.
Right. Oh,
dare you.
it's such a terrible thing, guys. Don't be
The
positive.
audacity.
Right. If he stays though, we get that continuity still for next year. Exceed.
Yeah, I'm right there with you. I feel like as long as we keep the same coach and we don't, lose anyone important,
Yeah.
especially in our defense, then I think we're gonna exceed. Yeah,
Well,
I'm gonna
the
give
one
it an
guy I
over.
knew that stood out that I was telling you before was that Duncan McGuire. He was a rookie, correct?
Yeah.
Yeah,
it
he
was a great
was
showing.
like second leading scorer on the team, I think.
Yeah, no, it was a great showing. But I mean, we didn't score a lot. The attacking was not the priority, and I think that will gives us some improvement for next season. Where we can actually get better attack because we won a lot of games like 1-0, like 2-1.
Wins
like
a win.
just a win's a win, baby.
Yep.
As long as you keep that defense tight, you keep that 1-0, you're cooking. So that's my thing. It's like the defense needs to stay together because we have a great defensive partnership in the midfield and like those center two. It's so important to have your two center defenders have a great relationship.
Yeah.
They got to be telepathic, right? Because like if one pushes up, you got to make sure that the dude behind you is going to be able to cover where you are. One ball through, it's a wrap. So that partnership, I really hope that it stays together in the middle. As long as we do that, we don't lose the coach. I'm gonna give Orlando a better position next year. I'm hopeful.
I tried to coach soccer one year.
Yeah, how'd that go?
It was rough. So
Yeah.
because I don't know soccer, right?
That's an important first step.
Right. I just know. So I had one kid on the team that understood soccer. I said, hey, you're going to be my Mike linebacker on defense, and you're going to be my quarterback on offense.
Wrong football.
I did a 5-2 cover one coverage for the whole season, and we won a YMCA championship.
Was that a 5-2 what?
A 5-2 cover one for the whole season.
Oh my god!
Yeah.
My man's bringing different plays out.
Right.
Here. I love it.
Oh man.
I had my D line on point.
Honestly, though,
Don't let him come through with the ball.
That happens a lot more than you might think. Like, for example, like one of the big popular things in soccer recently has been like a play where when your opponent's defense is pushing up too much, you pass it to a player that's good at passing and you hit a long ball over the top.
Yeah.
What we did is we literally copied the plays from NFL. So we're literally copying the plays from NFL, pass it to the quarterback, and send that bad boy
That's
flying.
hilarious.
And
So
let
would
him
that
intercept.
freaking
would that
love
mean
that.
that American football is better than soccer since you're stealing stuff from us?
Oh, you guys steal stuff from us too. You just don't know about it.
I didn't say I got.
Actually,
We'll put that in the poll
yeah,
down
we'll
below.
put that in the poll. We need an international poll.
Can we just say they're both great in their own
no.
way? Oh, but it's peace on the streets.
No, they're both great. I mean,
Unless it's football.
the only
Oh, that's true.
my thing about like American sports in general,
Yeah.
it's the commercials, dog. It's so hard for me to get into any American sports because every 3 seconds there's an ad just beaming into my eyeballs.
Oh yeah.
And I'm like, why? Why does it have to be this way? There's got to be a different way to break this up, bro.
Even when,
It's coming for soccer. It's coming.
Nah,
Well,
it's not.
aren't
You
all
can't.
like the soccer
It's two
most
halves, 45
don't most of the
minutes.
teams
That's
are
it.
sponsored by a team, so they're constantly running up and down in a jersey that's sponsored by a company.
No, but it's not the same as like that. Then there's literally a cut. There's a commercial, and that's all you see for a few seconds, and you come back. Every play that, like every time you switch play, there's a commercial. Every time the ball goes out in the NBA court, there's a commercial. Like every time you're doing anything in these sports, bro, there's always ads. Just
Yep. And it's built into the
blasting
broadcast.
You, bro. Yeah.
I think the only time we might
disgusting.
I think the only time we might
gross.
ever see that is when you ever watch like football, any football game, and you'll see they'll still have the game action on in the background off to the side, but then it'll be like a little bumper for a quick ad for like 15 seconds.
Yeah.
I think that's probably it's just based on how the games are too. There's more time. There's more stoppage times in basketball and football and baseball that allow for stuff like that. Whereas with soccer, you're right, it's 45 minutes, but I could still see them still kind of interjecting a quick ad break, but more of, hey, game action's on the side, and also here's a quick thing from our partner
like
at
a
Lexus.
two-box system. We have the game
Yeah.
still going, and then
You keep that heresy away from my sport. You
Hey.
keep that devil.
You
keep that.
You call it
satanic-
heresy. We're just
I'm telling you,
we're
it's
just calling it
coming.
the future of
Satanic stuff outta
commercialism,
here,
man.
brother. I don't want.
It's
nothing
coming.
to do with it.
It's
No.
coming.
Commercialism.
Here in the
It's
U.S.,
been-
it's coming.
Maybe here in the U.S.,
Yep.
I could see that. I mean,
America.
we've done a lot of weird stuff here. In
Right,
America,
right.
That's for sure.
Yeah.
And in fact, like basketball and NFL developed these breaks because of commercials. They weren't always like that. There weren't always this many breaks in the sports, but the commercials
Make
were
that money.
slowly like.
yeah, they even have a TV.
Hey.
They even have a TV timeout now.
Well,
Yeah.
yeah. Dude, it's like, bro, please
Telemundo,
stop.
Yep.
Telemundo finna
Hey.
come up.
Hey.
Destino.
We'll be like, how you do that? It's it.
I'm telling you though,
You
that
gotta figure that out.
when you start seeing the dollar signs though from the commercial money, like MLS, they're going
But bro,
they'll
like
follow
we've been-
suit.
Listen, like let's be realistic here. Like the Champions League and the British League makes more money than the NFL. Like the players make
yeah.
more money than the NFL players do.
Yeah, it's a more
we
global
have
game.
Ads, we just don't cut